Hey, it's Ryan from Combat Off-Road. This will be your instructional video on how to set up and install the doors for your JT Gladiator. This is the fronts, 35-1036. So stay tuned. We're going to walk through the whole process of what tools you need, what you need to do to put them on, and that's about it. So stay tuned. Step one, I want to do tools needed for the Gladiator front door. It's going to be our full metal jacket door. So part number 35-1036. This is the door. I have already put it together, but I'm going to show you what you need to know. So basically you're going to need a 3/16 Allen. You're going to need a 3/32 Allen. You're going to need a 5/32 Allen. You're going to need an 8mm wrench, and you're going to need a 10mm wrench. So I'm going to show you where these go. So 3/16 Allen is probably the most used one. So basically that's going to allow you to adjust the hinges because you're going to need to adjust those. If it fits perfect, just tighten them down in the spot they're in. So we're going to need 3/16 Allen for there. On this side, I'm just going to rest it on the mirror. The handle is not installed, so you have to install that, but you're going to have to take your 3/16 Allen and take out all the perimeter bolts. Then from there, you're going to have the latch mechanism. So this is adjusting your latch. So that is also 3/16 Allen. So this is important to tighten this no matter what. Even if it works perfect out of the box, you want to make sure these are tight. Okay, and then when we get down to the bottom here, this bumper plate, so it moves. You can bring it in and out. You can bring it on an angle just so it fits perfect, so you get no rattle in the door. That's also, these bolts are going to be the 3/16 Allen. So we're going to move to the handle. So the handle itself, that would be my next step. I would use the 3/16 Allen. I would take off all these bolts. I'd find my handle, my M6 bolt, my M6 nut. You're basically going to pull the panel up. You're going to have your Allen wrench. You're going to have your 10mm wrench, and you're basically just going to tighten those down on the other side of the panel. You're going to place the panel back on. You're going to do these guys back up. So that's all you're going to need the 10mm for. And then we get to the 8mm. The 8mm is for making sure the bumpers are tight. Okay, so the 8mm will tighten those bumpers. The 8mm will also tighten these bumpers in here. And then when we get to the mirror, you're going to find an 8mm Allen. And that's also going to be the 3/16. So basically you're sliding the mirror on, Allen head bolt washer. You're basically just tightening that down in there. That's all you need to do to assemble the door. So this. Okay, step one with the full metal jacket door. You're going to see the inside of the door. I would just lay it flat on a table, put something nice to cover it. You're going to get your 3/16 Allen, and as you can see, I've already started this, but you're going to remove all these. So if you did have like a socket or like a little gun or something with a 3/16, that would make it a lot quicker. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bore you with it, but we have to remove all these Allen head bolts with a 3/16 so we can move the panel back, and then we can mount our handle. So step one, remove all the bolts for the panel to be released, and then we'll move on to the handle. Okay, so I've gotten all the bolts released and removed. These handles are a cable system, so you can't rip this right off. There is definitely room to move it. So I would just pick it up just like this. I'd find your handle, two M6 Allens, you know, and just to make it easy, I would just start these just like that. I would grab my, I always forget this, I think it's 5/32. Yep, 5/32 Allen. All you're gonna do is just, I would just drop that in the hole. You can kind of put that wherever you want. I'm gonna stick my finger in there for 2 seconds. And I'm just gonna nut the backside just with my hands. So get that started. And then I'm gonna start the other nut. All right. So I'm reading our 10 mil wrench and our 5/32 Allen. I'm basically just going to just hold that in place. And I'm going to snug up. I like to use just the Allen to hold it. And then I'll snug it with the actual 10 millimeter wrench on the backside. So pretty straightforward. So this is the only reason you really need to take the panel off, especially in the first time, and to get to the logo. So I'm going to show you that. So this is a good time if you felt like theme painting the logo. Since you already have this off, you could do that. So we're going to just add that right now as a step in the caveat here. So just come around over here, so I can just move this out of the way. Pretty easy. We got lots of room because it's all cables. You find that 3/32 Allen key, and you'll see there's the 3 little small bolts and washers. All you would do, we're not going to remove it, we're leaving ours black today, but you would simply undo those. The logo would just drop down, paint it however you want, pop it back in, do that up. We got our handle installed here. This is very simply, you know, just line up the holes. And all you're gonna do, I put them all in, just hand tight, all the way around, and then just seat them, and then everything, the panel should line up just fine. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll move on to the next step. Good. All right, guys, I just wanted to add, when you're taking the panel off to do the handle, I just had this hanging here, but so just for peace of mind, so all our handles inside outside are run by cables, and they're all tensioned and P-clipped together, so it's nice. But just in case, you know, something's loose, just have a quick little bolt check just from shipping. Make sure these are all tight. You don't need any other tools. Basically your 10 mil wrench is going to get all the nut size. These are all 10 mil nuts, every one. And then the larger Allen heads are going to be your 3/16. And then the smaller ones on the P-clips are going to be your 5/32 Allen. So you don't need any additional tools. I just figured once you're in there, mounting the handle, or if you're going to do the logo, you might as well just give these guys a little check. Make sure they didn't come loose. And there's just one more here and here. So yeah, no big deal. I just wanted to mention that just in case. Just check them. You never know. Yeah, that's it. That's my PSA for the doors. I can put this back together. Okay, quick review. We're on to step 2, but mounted our door handle, tightened up all our access panel bolts. So now we're going to go step 2, which is the mirror. So I'll make it easier. I'll kind of do it like this for a minute. So you're going to have your 2 M8 bolts with washers, flat washers. You're obviously going to have your mirror, right? So you're going to get the right side mirror. It's going to have a little foam gasket. And then we're going to need our 3/16 Allen wrench. And we're simply going to guide the mirror. You can see how it has these keyways. And we have corresponding keyways here. And all we're going to do is slide that in place. And then inside the door by the handle, you're going to see the 2 bolt holes. And all we're going to do is look to see if we can find those guys. Like I said, I always like starting all the bolts by hand. Oh. Also, I'm just going to use the Allen key, the 3/16, but if you did have like a driver or a gun, no problem. Just be careful. You know, this stuff doesn't need a ton of torque. So, you know, even an Allen wrench with an Allen socket and a ratchet would be just fine, but it's not too bad with the key. I just like to show you, you don't really need fancy tools for any of our stuff. It's pretty easy, do it in your driveway, do it yourself, a lot of it, you know. If you're uncomfortable, totally, there's lots of awesome shops that can do all this stuff for you. But we're just giving you the knowledge to, you know, maybe do it yourself. So this might be a boring part, but all I'm looking to do is just go tight, and just like a quarter turn after it's pretty tight. So you get that feeling bottom out, you just try and give it a little quarter turn, even. And there you are. So there's the mirror installed. All right, so we're on to the next step. So this door is already fit and it's nice and snug, but to check it, you're gonna have your limbing strap. Just make sure it's facing inward. You can come over here, you can grab the storage bin area. You can match up the pins and you can just give it a little wiggle. There, should drop right in here. That one's a little higher than I want it to be. So basically, this door is already set up. You have all these different adjustments like we talked about. The latch, the bumpers, the bottom bumpers, the hinges. So that's all you need to know. They are drilled for the uppers, the aftermarket uppers. So basically a best top 2-piece soft door upper will fit. Some of the Rugged Ridge stuff. Rampage used to have some stuff as well. We've used the best top stuff. That's the stuff we used to test it on. So yeah, pretty cool door. Okay, so I went and grabbed the front door so you can kind of just see how it looks. I'll get out of the way. So all the body lines match, handles match, hinges match, logo profiles match. So it's just aesthetically pleasing, right? So we're really proud of the door. We think it turned out amazing. Like I said, all aluminum, all stainless steel hardware, black coated, right? We got our door handles, we got our latches, we got our storage compartments, you know, pretty awesome. So super easy to use, super easy to take off. You know, we got a full-size mirror on there. So nice and wide for those nice elbow out drives, you know. So yeah, really happy with that. Can't wait to see it on everybody else's Jeep.